Thanks for stopping by with me today. Because what I'm about to say could make all the difference between your today and all of your tomorrows. I have written a book. The title, Does God Really Exist? And I know this is a question that has been asked since time began. I know theologians and religious leaders from all different persuasions, scientists, have tried to address this question. Yet today, believers and unbelievers alike still grapple with that question. Does God really exist? We are living in a complex world. Young men and young women, boys and girls, teenagers, they are drifting aimlessly on the highway of life. Many have no hopes. Many are lonely, afraid, because they do not know what tomorrow holds for them. I can identify with these young ones because in my young life I started drinking at an early age. I was lonely. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. My father have never yet put his arms around me and said, "Son, I love you." He was a mean and ugly man towards me. But one day I heard about God, and I decided to investigate the truth of His existence. I share in this book my journey of discovery. Amazing journey. I take you to some situations where God proved Himself to me. It's unbelievable. You got to read it in this book. When I was 33 years old, I gave my life fully to Him. I was convinced that yes, God does exist. He has proved Himself times and times again, and in so many ways, that it leaves no doubt in my mind that there is a true and living God. I was a businessman then. I have retired now. And I have been preaching the gospel for over 20 years, preaching and teaching the Word of God. I have shared my experiences in part 2 of this book. I shared the creation story in a marvelous way, perhaps in a way that you have never heard or read it before. I shared the story of Lucifer. I answered the question why God could not eliminate him from the fall, the inception of his fall. I share the reason why planet Earth was chosen and no other planet except planet Earth was the appropriate place for him to be cast down. Oh, I share some marvelous revelation. I take you to the heights and depths of the love of God in a way that you have never seen before. I address the tornadoes and the weather situation, like the floods and the hurricanes, the tsunamis, and even the earthquakes. Is these acts of God? My friends, the revelation will marvel you, will stimulate your minds, will take you to the edge where you have never been before. One of the questions that is being asked today by believers, why isn't God hearing my prayers? This question of does God really exist is born out of tribulation periods, times when the afflictions of life overwhelms the believer. I know many believers today have lost their homes. They have lost their investments, their businesses, their families in disarray. The lack of money is a devastating weapon that is used of the enemy to destroy not only the people of God but humanity itself. But thanks be to God, He is ready and willing to make a way of deliverance for us. But the believer walks out in Him. Many have turned their backs on God. Many say they have been disillusioned and they have walked away from the faith they once so embraced. My friend, in this book, I tell you the reason God reveals to me why He's unable to deliver His people, especially from sickness and from financial oppression. He said, where there is no knowledge, my people perish. And He said, my people are double-minded, and a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Let not that man think that he will receive of the Lord. He said, we believers are attributing the works of Satan to be that of God. I record all these in my books, the way that God sees it, and the reason why our prayers seems to go unanswered. Get this book today. It's a marvelous book. I recommend that you get this book not only for yourself, but I recommend that you get it for all your loved ones, your family members, and your neighbors across the street. At the end of the book, I pronounce on the life of every reader of this book a special blessing that God has told me to pronounce on every reader. He said, I will reveal myself to every reader of this book in their financial affairs in a way that they have never ever seen before. Oh, my friends, believe the prophet and so shall you prosper. God is saying to you today, I want to deliver you. You must make the choice. It is all in your hands. Arise and shine, thy light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. The world is in darkness. The people are in gross darkness. But the glory of the Lord will be seen upon you. May this Christmas be your merriest Christmas ever. And may next year be the year when you will never forget what God has done. I thank you for listening to me today. Write me and let me know. I have an email address at the back of this book, and I would love to share in the joy of your salvation. May the blessing of God rest upon you and yours throughout this Christmas and throughout all the years to come. Thank you for listening. God bless you.